Welcome to another episode of Two Tall Guys Talking Sales, where today's conversation tackles one of the most pivotal moments in any sales career, the leap from top performer to sales leader. Sean and Kevin break down the critical mindset shift required in those first 30 days, revealing why success in leadership depends less on telling people what to do and more on earning trust and guiding the team with intention. You'll hear practical strategies for prioritizing your new responsibilities, transitioning existing accounts, and avoiding the early pitfalls that sink new managers. If you've just been promoted or expect to be soon, this episode gives you the roadmap to lead with confidence from day one.
Congratulations. You just got promoted. Now, if you send me that note that you say that, hey, I just got promoted, I may fire back a note and say condolences, because now is when the work just got challenging. So this is Sean. We'll give you a little bit of a background, a little bit of talk here. You're a salesperson yesterday. You're doing great. You're the top salesperson in the company or one of the top salespeople in your region or whatever. And the boss called you this morning and said, we've been watching you and we think you have leadership qualities and we are promoting you starting Monday to the VP of sales for this group or the sales manager, sales leader, whatever makes sense in your world. You are no longer the salesperson. You are the sales leader starting Monday. What in the world are you going to do? Are you ready? Can you pull it off? I think you can. But in the next 15 minutes, maybe a little bit less than that since we're a minute in now, but in the next 15 minutes or so, Kevin and I have been promoted before. We know what that's like. We've gone from being a salesperson to being a sales leader. So we thought we'd share a few nuggets of how that transition is going to go and what you should do and how to kickstart your world so that you can really hit the ground running. So I've set you up there, Kevin. What do you think? Can you give some advice to our poor listener that just got promoted?
If you were me about 20 years ago and this happened to you, I can categorically say that you should probably not tell everyone how you would do their job. I can just say that with a lot of confidence right now because I thought that being promoted meant that my title was now my ability to tell somebody, explain to them how they should be doing their job. And I did that for about 3 days before I realized that was a horrible idea. But it taught me something very quick. Failure is a great teacher. So I was working with the sales team and I had skinned my knees there and I had done just enough of relationship building and trust as a peer where they said, all right, Kevin, did you get that out of your system? I said, yeah. And they said, here's what we need from you. And I'm like, oh, this is great. Now, backstory, I came from an organization that was just, you couldn't throw a stone or you could not throw a rock without hitting a wonderful human being. And so I got to pull out from them and learn from a lot of their experience and wisdom. So the thing I would suggest that every new sales leader do is take a breath. When this happens to you, that moment of promotion, you still have prospects and customers that still need your attention. So instead of racing around trying to do and do and do, gather your thoughts. Use your Eisenhower matrix, high impact, high volume of work, or impact and outcome, thinking in quadrants to make decisions that are urgent and important, or not urgent and important, or not important but urgent. Like all the things, go through that decision process for yourself because you have to first transition some things off your plate. Because the mandate was not do everything you did yesterday and on Monday you're also going to do this job too. The mandate is you have a new role. You need to plan to move into that role. I remember my wife and I were pregnant with our first child. We weren't pregnant one day and had the baby the next. It wasn't that fast. We had to plan and get ready for it. Now, any new sales leader, don't take 10 months. You got to be a little faster than that. But be thoughtful about how you are getting ready to be ready. That can be talking to team members individually. That can be writing down your plan for success and communicating that plan. Getting buy-in from the people who promoted you. Hey, gang, thank you for entrusting me with this. I thoughtfully considered what I can do with this opportunity. You've been there before. Do you see anything missing since I've not been in this role before? I've been a producer. I know what I would do to be a part of this team, But as a leader, I bet you have some insight that I may be missing. You said I was high potential. Help fill in the gaps for me quick. We can ask for help. If your organization is not geared to have that kind of conversation, grab a book, grab a podcast, hint, hint, lean in a little bit, get involved in a community of other peers who are not scarcity minded. They're really abundance mindseted so that they can meet you where you are and help you. Anybody with an abundance mindset wants you to win. So go find the resources because they're pretty abundantly available if you're humble enough to go look for them. Go find the resources, lean into them, tell them your problem, your sales hypothesis, your leadership hypothesis. Do an evaluation. There's tons of online tools you can look to say, how do I effectively measure objectively skill sets of my team? 10-point scale, you figure out your targets. 5 is medium or median, and maybe you want somebody who's high on an analytical scale to be in this technical sales role, but you really want somebody that's high relationship that's on business development. Figure out what the job needs, and you can also often do a personality profile on yourself, because remember, you were successful, so you're now the baseline. Figure out how you score in these areas. Figure out whether other people are deficient or even better. If somebody's better on the team, lean into their skills. Have them do a master class in their specific skill. Elevate their skills so you get more buy-in. And avoid the busy work. How many call reports? But if you ask somebody every day for a call report, you're micromanaging. Avoid the temptation to make sure they're doing it your way. I'm using my air quotes here. Avoid that temptation of making them do it your way. Remember, you were their peer yesterday, and you're their leader tomorrow. Now I'm using leader. I'm not using boss. I'm not using manager. I'm using a term leader. And leaders lead from where, Sean?
Leaders lead from the front. And this is a really good analogy, and thank you very much. So if you just got promoted, then there's a chance that they were investing in you over time to teach you how to be a leader, how to be a manager, how to be a motivator. But there's a chance that they didn't as well. And I know situations happen on both ends, right? Where you were going to the leadership classes, you were going through the process. So this being promoted thing really wasn't a big surprise to you because your employer had been investing in you to get you ready for this job. But in some cases, that capability, that background, those resources were not available to the company, or they didn't think you qualified to do it anyway, but they promoted you. And so now you don't know how to be a leader. I want to speak to that person right now, the person that got very little leadership, motivational training before they got the job. And I want you to fall back on the one thing that I'm pretty sure that you're good at if you just got promoted because you're the best salesperson on the team, on the region, and in the company. And that is you're probably a pretty good salesperson. So don't stop being a pretty good salesperson when you become the leader. Instead, think of all of the people that now report to you that are looking to you for leadership. Think of them as your customer. And if you treat them like your customer, in other words, you don't tell, you show. You don't cajole, you convince. You engender trust. If you don't know how to engender trust, then listen to our episode of a week or so ago. The whole goal of being a really good sales manager with a bunch of salespeople is to realize that salespeople like to be sold to. We are suckers for being sold to. Let's face it. How many salespeople do you know that can actually turn down the Girl Scout when she's selling cookies? It's just a weakness. She makes a really good pitch. Hi, will you buy my cookies? Oh, how many do you want? She doesn't say anything. The Boy Scout, I think the Boy Scouts do the popcorn. They're sitting outside of Home Depot or Lowe's. All they got to do is smile at me. They got me. That's all they had to do, right? So I'm a sucker for a good pitch or somebody at least trying. So I say that because when you're a sales manager, you can sell to your salespeople what you want them to do, or the behavior you want them to change, or the mountain that you want them to go attack, because you sell it to them as opposed to try to motivate them. You're probably not Patton. You're probably not MacArthur. I just named two people that you may not even know who they are. Those were two generals back in World War II. You're probably not a motivational speaker. You're probably not the person that can say, follow me, let's go take that mountain. But you're probably a person that can say, you know what? If we take that mountain, I bet there's a nice reward for us. I bet there's a goal for us to achieve. You can probably convince that because that's just part of a sales pitch. That's part of selling to your employees. Don't do something you don't know how to do. Do something you really know how to do well and just sell to your employees, and they're going to be great at accepting that advice. The second thing I'm going to say is exactly what Kevin just said is don't be a micromanager. Don't expect that everybody's going to do it the same way you did it. They have different color hair than you do. They're a different height than you do. They have a different body style than you do. They have different experiences in high school, college, and life. They're going to act differently. They're going to evolve differently. Bring out the best in the people that work for you and with you and allow them to build on their strengths. And when you find that weakness, figure out how to augment that weakness as opposed to criticize them for having a weakness. Help them grow that weakness. Help them fill in that gap. And if that means that two salespeople should work together on the account, that's okay. Figure out how to make that happen because one's good at prospecting and one's good at the relationships. One's good at getting high in the organization and one's really good at talking to all the mechanics on the machine floor. That's all good. So let them work together if that makes sense. Use their skills to make you look better. And remember, from this point forward, it is not your number anymore. It is our number. It's no longer you. It's no longer about you. It's about the team. So be the leader. Kevin, take us home on this idea.
I've heard you say that hundreds of times, and it always strikes a nerve. If anybody out there was able to see me when Sean was talking there, they would have seen me and noticed me smile because it's truly that. Book reference for you. We'll put it in the show notes. The 360-Degree Leader by John Maxwell. I think it's in section 2 or section 7. I can't remember the exacts. But the note is simply this. The most valuable part of the team is the other players. That's a critical success factor. So when you're building your team, you as a leader are one of the other players. All of your players are also your other players. So when we say, hey, let's win this together, that's a real thing. I have found myself signing off on emails. Let's win this together. Now, in transparency, it's typically when there's a lot of emotion and high tension in the room. I'm trying to diffuse that tension by saying, hey, this is our goal. It's all of us against the world. We're the team. We're the home team here. But when we're creating that kind of community, we're also building confidence in each other. So as a leader, it's your responsibility to lead from the front in emotionally high situations, high intensity situations. It's your job to make sure people finish. Because in those high intensity situations, you can have a flame out. Your team can crumble around you, i.e. culture. That's what we're guarding against. The people that put you in this role think you're not prone to doing that. So let's not prove them wrong. Because what we're doing here and what Sean and I are, as a part of this podcast, we're trying to convey that there's a brighter tomorrow. And whether that is brighter for you as the next salesperson in line to be number one, that will be promoted after your new boss gets promoted to the VP of sales. Or if you're that person who's been promoted, who's got their sights set on leaving their indelible mark on the company's history. Or maybe you're that new salesperson who's come in and you're watching all these people work together and taking note of how they're working and emulating what they're doing. Frankly, that was my experience when I first got out of college. I went and joined a team like that where everybody won because everybody won. And that's a really important takeaway. So if you hear nothing else from today, if you're getting promoted, or if you're watching your buddy get promoted, now's not the time to tear him down. Now's the time where you can figure out how you can lead from the front and extend the lead. This is the fourth quarter push where we're against our rival and we're saying, run it up on them. Make them feel the pain. We're competing out there. Let's go win together. Defense, offense, special teams, coaches, all the way back to the people in the clubhouse are responsible for the win in the same way that you Mr. and Mrs. New Sales Leader are responsible for the number. So thanks for listening today. And it's important to know that you've got more resources. Part of the resources that are available to you are through the B2B Sales Lab. That's a private community Sean and I have, and we'd like to invite you there. It's a 90-day no-risk trial. Come join. If you like it, stay and pay the membership monthly. If not, come knowing that we're trying to build a community of people like we just described. Thanks for listening.
What an outstanding discussion today. One packed with honesty, experience, and the kind of clarity every new sales leader wishes they had on day one. I especially appreciated the deep dive into using the Eisenhower matrix to balance urgency and importance. It's a deceptively simple framework, but when applied correctly, it helps newly promoted managers avoid chaos, protect their focus, and step confidently into true leadership. And of course, the episode's major actionable item, building a 30-day transition plan, is the kind of practical, high-impact move that can define whether your first month feels intentional or overwhelming. Don't wait until later to do it. Map out your priorities today, before the noise of daily business drowns out what matters most. If you ever need support with sales management, or scaling your company's revenue engine, reach out to Sean or Kevin. Everything you need is right there in the show notes. And for those who want to go deeper, remember you can join the B2B Sales Lab, a thriving community of sales professionals and leaders who share insights, tackle real-world challenges, and help each other hit quota with confidence. The link to the B2B Sales Lab is also in the show notes, so take advantage of the 90-day trial and see what the community can unlock for you. We'll be back with another episode next week at the usual time, bringing you more straight talk and real strategies to win in B2B sales. Happy selling!